Hey everybody, so I just wanted to shoot a quick video today to talk about the setup I use when I go out and activate parks. I'm not one to generally operate from a vehicle, so I wanted to show you today the pack I use and the contents when I go out and activate a park. So we'll go through the pack, we'll go through the contents, we'll talk about how I use all this stuff, and understand that this is just one setup. This stuff changes depending on what I'm doing. So with that being said, I'll be right back. All right, everybody, I'm going to apologize in advance for the lighting. There is no shade anywhere to be seen, so the lighting's not going to be the best, and I apologize for any background noise. There's a train, and it's very windy here today. So I just want to talk a little bit about my setup here. We'll kind of go through the contents. We'll talk about the pack itself, and we'll go from there. I'm going to set you guys back down here. All right, so what we've got here, this is a Hill People Gear heavy recon kit bag. Hill People Gear makes fantastic stuff. I'm kind of a fanboy. They make fantastic bags. Most of my packs are made by them. High quality stuff. I can't recommend them highly enough. This is the heavy recon original size kit bag, and this is awesome for doing what I do. So we'll go through the contents, we'll kind of take a look at what's in here, and I'll talk about some of the additions that I might add to this. So the front, obviously, we can attach pouches. You will see over here I do have, this is the assault pouch from the U.S. Marine Corps Philby system. That's designed to attach to the top of the U.S. Marine Corps Philby assault pack. And that mounts great to the front of this. And I'll talk about the contents of that in a minute. I don't always bring that with me, but when I do, I'll show you what I use it for. So we'll start kind of at the back of this pack. There are two pockets. There's a big pocket in the back and a very large pocket in the front. We'll start at the back because that's where the rig is. So I'll go ahead and open that up. In the back, the only thing that's back here is the rig itself, which is a Lab 599 Discovery TX 500. I've got a lot of QRP rigs. I really like this particular radio for this kind of stuff because it is very rugged. It's water resistant. This thing's fairly bulletproof. We'll talk about some of my other radios in other videos and when I might use them. In fact, I've got a rig on the way that I'm pretty excited about. But this is kind of my go-to radio for like POTA activations, SOTA activations, that kind of stuff. I generally, like I said before, don't operate from a vehicle. I like to hike way out in the woods to do my activations. So, you know, I'm not lugging around a 100-watt radio, and I'm not carrying like a IC705 into the woods because while it's an awesome radio, it's not quite rugged enough. So this thing really fits the bill as far as a ruggedized radio is concerned. So yeah, I can't recommend this radio highly enough. The other thing I have in the back is just my antenna wire. This is a wire cut for 40 meters for my unfed half wave. We'll talk about the antenna here in a minute. Now, the main pouch of this bag, there's all sorts of stuff in here. All right, and we'll talk about all the different contents. Obviously, we have a pad. We can use that to log if we want to log on paper. I can use my phone to use hammers to log that way as well. I have a throw weight. This is a Weaver. This is a 12 ounce throw weight. I don't always carry this because this is fairly heavy, and you can just use like a rock or a stick on your throw line to get into the tree. But this is nice to have. So if I don't mind the weight and I have the space, I may carry that. I have a reel. I think this is 33 feet of RG316, I think. It's on a 3D printed spool from, I think it's the QRP store. This thing's pretty cool. It's got a little reel on the back. You wind this stuff up. If you've ever used this coax before, it can be kind of a nightmare. And this spool makes it real easy to manage. We've got my throw line. I think this is 75 feet. It's real small. It's reflective and it is high vis, so I can see it in the tree. It's real easy to find. We've got our speaker mic for a radio. Now this is the one thing that I don't like about the TX500 is it does not have an internal speaker. You do need the speaker mic or headphones, but that's sort of a compromise they had to make for water resistance. So I do have the speaker mic in here as well. We have a Bioenno battery. I think this is a 3 amp hour. Yeah, this is a 3 amp hour battery. This thing will power this radio all day long. pencil if I'm on a paper log. And then inside here, I've also got a small Maxpedition pouch Velcroed into this pack. And inside that, we've got our CW key. I just got this. This thing is awesome. This is one of the CW Morse SP4 keys. This thing's fantastic. I love this key. It weighs nothing. It's tiny. It feels great. Definitely an awesome paddle. Power cable for the TX500. Set of headphones if I want to run headphones, along with the adapter to run headphones. This is a push to talk if you're going to use a separate headset mic attachment, but this has the pigtail for headphones on it as well. So if I want to run headphones, I use that. And a spark plug antenna, end-fed half wave. This thing's great. It's tiny. It works well. It takes up no space. Doesn't weigh much anything. And the last thing I've got in this pack is the adapter to run the CW key off of the radio. So that's all that's in this pack. Now, one of the reasons I really, really love this pack is I don't even need to take it off to run the radio. So let me put this back on and I'll show you what I mean. And this is one of the fantastic things about these Hill People Gear kit bags. So if I put this back on, when you unzip this back pocket where the rig goes, it folds open like a table. So I can run the radio from my chest. I never have to take it out of the pack. So this is great. I can lay if I'm logging on my phone, I can lay my phone in here, or I can lay my pad in here and log that way as well. I never even have to take the pack off. So if I'm trail side and I just want to set up and activate, I throw down my seat, I open my pack, I set things up, and I'm ready to roll. I can do all this without ever taking the pack off, which I really like. Now the last thing I've got over here, I've got an HT. I always take an HT with me. Generally, I carry a Yaesu FT5DR. I like this radio for a number of reasons. It's water resistant, it's rugged. There's a ton of Yaesu System Fusion repeaters around here, so obviously I can run that with this, and it does APRS natively, which I really like. So this is usually the HT I carry. And then the last thing we've got our pouch that I talked about before, which I can attach to the front of this. And inside this, there's not much in here at the moment, but inside this, I have my digi-rig. So if I want to run digital modes, I've got my digi-rig. I have a USB-C to USB-C cable. And then I have the cables that run from the digi-rig to the TX500. If I want to run, let's say I want to run FT8, I can run FT8 through my phone, through the rig, so I can run single sideband, CW, and FT8, all with the setup I've got right here. And so this is kind of a do-it-all sort of setup. I do have a smaller kit bag. I have a medium-sized original kit bag that I will pare this down. So if I'm not going to run as much, I might run a smaller amount of coax. I've got a 15-foot section of coax without the spool. I might not take all the digital stuff, and I can pare this down fairly small. Again, I do have several other options as far as radios go, and I'll use different radios for different things, but I just kind of wanted to talk about the setup that I run most of the time, and that is this TX500 minus all the digital stuff. And you can see that all fit in here nice and neat. It all fits in here great. It's very comfortable, it's very easy to use, and it'll do pretty much everything I need it to do. So that's pretty much my POTA and SOTA setup. For the most part. Again, I change things out. I change different rigs, different components, but the idea is basically the same. I want something fairly compact, fairly light that I can throw on and hike into the woods and not really have it get in the way. Now, if I'm going to the woods and I'm not planning on activating, I take a totally different setup. So I'll talk about that in a later video. I'll kind of show some of my day pack setups, my loadouts for those, and what radios I carry for those as well. So with that being said, I hope you found it informative. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you on the next one. 7-3.